Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn a little bit more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell made some comments today on the floor of the Senate that are extremely noteworthy, that actually tell us two things. One, that compromise is indeed within reach. In fact, the Senate Majority Leader said so himself. And number two, the vast differences between the two sides that will help us understand why it's taken so long. But I do believe, based on what the Senate Majority Leader said, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I do believe that, I'm hopeful, I should say, that we see some sort of a compromise soon. Let's take a look at the first segment with the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the floor of the Senate, where the Senate Majority Leader said, let's agree where we agree, let's make law, and let's keep debating areas where we don't agree, because that is how the system is designed. That is how our system of government is supposed to work. He said common sense policies, like a second round of the Paycheck Protection Program, are important. He talked about stimulus checks for illegal immigrants, which is something that he said the Democrats are pushing. He talked about radical ideas like paying people not to work so that they make more money than our essential workers. Again, something that he said the Democrats were proposing. And he also talked about common sense policies that could live or die. I'm quoting him. He said common sense policies live or die with their outlandish ideas. Yep. He talked about the Democrats having outlandish ideas. He said the truth is very simple, that we have two sides with two different visions of what we hope to achieve in what will hopefully be the last chapter of the pandemic. And he emphasized, let's make law here. Our Democratic colleagues up to this point have declined to do that. Some pretty strong comments from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Let's roll the tape and you can see for yourself. Let's watch.
Mr. President, anyone who's heard me speak about coronavirus relief going back months has heard one central principle. Let's deliver right away on all the subjects where everybody agrees and argue over the rest later. The solution to this impasse has been in plain sight for a long time now for anybody willing to see it. Agree where we agree, bank that progress, make law, take a whole lot of pressure off struggling people, and then keep debating the areas where we don't agree. There's no actual reason why the fates of common sense policies like a second round of the job-saving Paycheck Protection Program had to be linked to the fates of fringe proposals like stimulus checks for illegal immigrants. There's no reason why the fate of funding for vaccine distribution or extending unemployment aid or legal certainty for universities should have been tied to radical ideas like paying people more not to work than essential workers earn on the job. These linkages have been totally arbitrary. Just a political decision that Democratic leaders made many months back. Democratic leaders have tried to create a narrative where it's taken for granted that the most bipartisan, commonsensical relief policies would live or die with their side's most outlandish ideas. Well, that just isn't so. They've tried to create a dynamic where they move from one made-up number to a second, slightly smaller arbitrary number and call it a meaningful concession. The truth is simple. This has always been about policy differences. We have two sides with two different visions for the best way to support our nation through what we hope will be the last chapter of the pandemic. Now, that isn't new. We have disagreements all the time. Our system can handle disagreements, but both sides have to be willing to compile their commonalities and make law here. And up to now, our Democratic colleagues have declined to do that. Remember, their side said in March, this pandemic was, quote, a tremendous opportunity to restructure things to fit our vision. So when Republicans tried to pass common sense relief measures in July and in September, and in October as well, our Democratic colleagues actually blocked policies they do not even oppose. Now it's been heartening to see a few hopeful signs in the past few days. After months of arbitrary attachment to sky-high dollar amounts that the Speaker of the House claimed were essential,
Now, in the second segment with the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the floor of the United States Senate, the Senate Majority Leader said there is movement in the right direction. Many policies have strong bipartisan support. He said the GOP, the Republican Party, has been trying to pass common sense relief measures in July, in September, and again in October. And he said Democrats have actually been so obstructionist that Democrats have blocked policies they don't oppose. That is what the Senate Majority Leader said. He also said now it is heartening to see a few hopeful signs in the past few days. And he said the baseless claims from the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for, I quote, sky-high dollar amounts have suddenly evaporated. Now, the reason he's saying this is because the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi initially said no to a $1.9 trillion bill before the election. And now she has essentially caved and essentially come down to saying, hey, let's take the $908 billion bill that was proposed by the Senate bipartisan group and use that as a framework for further negotiations, which is why the Senate Majority Leader said what he said. He also said there are many important policies with strong bipartisan support. A second round of the Paycheck Protection Program would help businesses get past the finish line. And he said that university presidents have made it clear to him that they need legal certainties for reopening. Let me help you understand what this means. Let's say you're the owner of a business or a university, or for that matter, even a hospital, or you're a board. You don't want to get sued by people for lawsuits that could potentially be frivolous, because lawsuits are expensive. They are distracting, they are time consuming, they are extremely painful, and usually the individuals who get rich off of lawsuits are the lawyers. Now, if there's a real case, then obviously there is some merit to a lawsuit. But the concern for a lot of these businesses, hey, we're not going to open until we have some protection that we are not going to be the victim of frivolous lawsuits. That is what the Senate Majority Leader is talking about. So he said university presidents have made it clear to him that they need legal certainties for reopening. And he talked about unemployment program extensions, which are important. And he said they are part of his framework. And he said that extension could pass the Senate today. Important comments from the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell. Let's roll the tape and you can see for yourself.
Remember, their side said in March, this pandemic was, quote, a tremendous opportunity to restructure things to fit our vision. So when Republicans tried to pass common sense relief measures in July, and in September, and in October as well, our Democrat colleagues actually blocked policies they do not even oppose. Now it's been heartening to see a few hopeful signs in the past few days. After months of arbitrary attachment to sky-high dollar amounts that the Speaker of the House claimed were essential, that it would be an insult to settle for a nickel less, those baseless claims have suddenly evaporated. That is at least movement in the right direction. But the underlying reality, Mr. President, is still with us. There are many important policies that have strong bipartisan support. There are many others that do not. And the way to help the country is for our Democratic colleagues to finally let the former group be signed into law while we keep arguing over the rest. The targeted second round of paycheck protection that we've been trying to establish since July would help a huge number of small businesses survive to the finish line and help huge numbers of workers keep their jobs. And it could pass the Senate today probably with 95 votes. With the apparent success of Operation Warp Speed, it makes no sense to skimp on the systems to distribute and deliver vaccines around the country. Those funds could pass the Senate today, possibly unanimously. University presidents have made it clear they need legal certainty for their reopenings. Let me say that again. University presidents have made it clear they need legal certainty for their reopenings. That shouldn't be partisan. Liability protection should be able to pass the Senate today. A number of our Democratic colleagues have focused especially on several of the unemployment relief programs that are set to expire in a matter of days. I specifically made sure to include those programs in my framework a few days ago. That extension could pass the Senate today.
And in the third segment, I believe the Senate Majority Leader made a rather passionate plea to try and get something done. He said the Senate has put forth a serious and highly targeted relief proposal that the President is willing to sign into law. I did report yesterday that the President was indeed ready to sign something, basically what Mitch McConnell had proposed. But now the question is, will the President be willing to sign something that is close to $1 trillion, which is what was proposed by the Senate bipartisan group? Because the Senate Majority Leader's plan, initial reports were that it was right around $333 billion from Heather Long and the Washington Post. But now the numbers suggest that it's closer to $500 billion, which a lot of people still feel is too little. But this is where we are right now. The Senate Majority Leader said the House of Representatives is spending time this week on pressing issues like marijuana. Now, he was sarcastic when he said the following: serious and important legislation like marijuana benefiting the national crisis. Basically, he's saying that the Democrats are wasting time doing stuff that is not helping the country right now. He also said, let's see what Congress does. By the way, Congress refers to both the House and the Senate. He said, let's see what Congress does when we want an outcome. Let's make law on the subjects we agree. Our deep differences will remain. He said, the people who cannot wait, who simply cannot wait, are American workers, American businesses, K through 12 schools, vulnerable Americans for whom speedy distribution of the vaccine will be a matter of life and death. And he's right. It's going to be a matter of life and death for many of us. So he said those individuals simply cannot wait. He said our people are hurting, but we are ready to finish this fight. And he said Congress should not keep them waiting for reinforcements, which should have arrived months ago. He ended by saying compromise is indeed within reach. We know where we agree. This is the important part, because we have to agree where we agree for us to make progress. That is the basis of any reasonable progress. And he said hope is in sight. We can do this. We need to do this. And he said, let's do what we are supposed to do. Let's essentially actually make a law. Let's roll the tape and see what the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had to say on the floor of the United States Senate today. Let's watch.
The House of Representatives is spending this week on pressing issues like marijuana. Marijuana. Serious and important legislation benefiting the national crisis. But here in the Senate, I put forward a serious and highly targeted relief proposal, including the elements which we know the President is ready and willing to sign into law. Why should these impactful and non-controversial life preservers be delayed 1 second longer? At long last, let's do what Congress does when we want an outcome. Let's make law on all the subjects where we agree, on all the areas where President Trump is ready to sign bipartisan relief into law. I promise our deep differences will still be here to debate. Our disagreements will be right where we left them. But what can't wait? What can't wait? American workers, American small businesses, K through 12 schools, the vulnerable Americans and frontline healthcare workers for whom speedy vaccine distribution will literally be a life or death matter. Yesterday, my home state of Kentucky experienced yet another dreadful record-setting day. But Kentuckians also know that hope is in sight. Our state's workers are standing by at the UPS Worldport in Louisville and the DHL Express American Hub in northern Kentucky, key logistics centers that will play crucial roles in sending vaccines all around the country. Our people are hurting, but they're ready to finish this fight. Congress should not keep them waiting for reinforcements that should have arrived literally months ago. So compromise is within reach. We know where we agree. We can do this. Let me say it again. We can do this. And we need to do this. So let's be about actually making a law.
That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe and please enable notifications. The name of our channel is Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. You'll learn a little bit more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I have to tell you, I have the honor, the privilege, the fortune of living the American dream. I want to be very clear on our channel. It's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American first, as we all are. Remember, you can get on our SMS list. Just get your cell phone out. Send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000. You'll get added to SMS alerts list. You'll get breaking news and alerts if we release any programs, and if you're interested in those programs, you'll be notified if you're on the list. Also, you can get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you can get added to our email list. You can opt out of the email list or the SMS list at any point in time that you want. No worries about that. So please make sure you get on either list. Now, keep in mind that we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. Sometimes YouTube does not send out notifications on time. So all you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way, you can visit the home page of our channel and you can then watch any video at any point in time that you want without having to be dependent on YouTube notifications. So you may want to do that. Speaking of notifications, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Instagram for exclusive content specifically for our Instagram followers. You can also follow us on Twitter Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You'll get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. If you learned something new from this video, once again, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications, because that would mean a lot to us. That is your vote of confidence in us, and that tells the YouTube algorithm that you found the video beneficial. Please share this video with friends and family. You know that we don't believe in hype. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is not about false hope. It's not about hype. I have a lot of respect for our viewers and subscribers. I know you can handle the truth. I give you the truth. I'm not going to string you along or essentially give you any false hope. I'm going to let you know what is important as far as the country is concerned, as far as the economy is concerned, and as far as your money is concerned, because what's going on in the country affects the economy, and what's going on in the economy affects your personal finances, your wallet. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel. And finally, please comment below. Our community is growing. It's very intelligent. It's very bipartisan. You'll probably make some new friends in the community. We are highly respectful. Make sure to become a part of our community. And also, you'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. That's one thing that is a standard in our channel. We'll always provide you with a link to all our resources so you can check them out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.